G1 Climax quickly earned its reputation of the toughest tournament in professional wrestling, thanks to the quality of its competition and grueling schedule of intense singles matches. Its winner could rightly lay claim to being among the world's best heavyweight wrestlers, and, like the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, a standard bearer for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm Kevin Kelly, and this is The Recount. As NJPW went through a difficult early 2000s, there was one man who carried the torch consistently as IWGP champion, Yuji Nagata. He faced all comers in his 10-defense, 392-day reign from 2002 to 2003 and brought stability to a turbulent organization. His second reign began in April 2007 after beating a man who couldn't seem any more different in style and attitude, Hiroshi Tanahashi. The two would meet head-to-head in the finals of the 17th G1 Climax, and the winner would carry the torch to lead NJPW out of the darkness. Nagata was beloved and respected and humble, and his wrestling was effective, high impact, and no nonsense. Tanahashi, conversely, was flashy and preening, and though loved by his fans, he had a deep arrogant streak. The 2007 G1 final felt then like a callback to the first in 1991. The technical Masahiro Chono against the dynamic charisma of Keiji Muto. Nagata posed a tough obstacle for Tanahashi to overcome and lit into Tanahashi with strikes that drew blood from the younger man's mouth. This after Tanahashi was already bleeding from the arm after Togi Makabe had driven it into the guardrail earlier in the evening. Back then, the top two finishers of each round-robin group would make up a four-man playoff tournament, and the winner had to wrestle semifinals and finals in the same night. With a dragon suplex, followed by an emphatic high-fly flow, Tanahashi overcame. His heart and determination proved him to be no poser, and it was on this night that people started in earnest to call Tanahashi the Ace. Evoking Muto's closing speech of the 1995 G1, Tanahashi finished the night by vowing that from here, pro wrestling would blow up once more. It didn't happen overnight, but New Japan started to turn a corner, and did so with Tanahashi at the helm, driven by the night he was made by the 2007 G1 Climax. Over the next few years, the tournament would make stars out of other unique wrestlers. In 2008, for example, the G in G1 stood for Goto, as Hiroki Goto earned a shocking G1 victory merely 6 years into his pro career. The next year, Togi Makabe finally arrived, after a decade of toil and months after losing his supposed brethren in Great Bash Heel, as Chaos was formed. The leader of Chaos, Shinsuke Nakamura, fell to the Bloody Makabe in the 2009 final, but he would be the one in 2011. While Nakamura had years of success under his belt, it wasn't until his campaign in G1 Climax 21 that the King of Strong Style finally found himself and found his throne. But 2012 was the year everything changed. Kazuchika Okada returned after a lengthy American excursion and instantly laid down a challenge to Hiroshi Tanahashi. Few gave him a chance against the Ace, but the Rainmaker shock put Okada on top of the game. Okada's reign didn't last until the summer, which gave the Rainmaker an added drive in his debut G1 Climax. Despite falling to established names like Shinsuke Nakamura and Tetsuya Naito in his campaign, Okada acquitted himself in the final night by pitting Togi Makabe and topping B-Block before going on to defeat only the second non-Japanese to reach a G1 final, Carl Anderson. If anyone was still on the fence about Kazuchika Okada, they turned a corner here. And as the G1 Climax made a mark on Okada, Okada made a mark on the G1 itself. Post-match, Okada and then manager Gedo declared that the Rainmaker would use the G1 victory to propel himself to the main event on January 4, 2013's Wrestle Kingdom 7. This ignited a new tradition for the G1. The winner would now earn an IWGP Heavyweight Championship match inside Tokyo Dome. When it came to brewing a perfect storm, this was a thunderclap. Added stakes combined with a constantly hotter competition and growing eyes on New Japan to make the G1 Climax an international phenomenon. In the coming years, live attendance grew, alongside viewers at home, thanks to NJPW World and English commentary. The G1 grew to suit, and what had been a 4-day Tokyo sprint soon became a month-long sprawling marathon. The expanded scale of the tournament brought new narratives to the fold. While the eyes of competitors were all firmly on the Wrestle Kingdom main event prize, eyes of the spectators were similarly enthralled by the antics of Toru Yano, by the underdog miracle of Tomoaki Honma, the phenomenal debut performance of AJ Styles, or by the guts, determination, and iron will of Katsuyori Shibata and Tomohiro Ishii. As these stories unfurled, the final was reserved for the ultimate in catharsis, pathos, and climax. Hiroshi Tanahashi found himself opposite Shinsuke Nakamura in 2015, 10 years after their first meeting, and the two would have their final singles match before a rapt Ryogoku. As of 2019, Hiroshi Tanahashi had won 3 G1 Climaxes, each representing an era of his career. In 2007, Tanahashi was the radical up-and-comer, brash, and perhaps overconfident, bringing a new philosophy against a veteran champion. In 2015, he was decidedly the ace, defeating his contemporary and great rival in Nakamura. In 2018, Tanahashi was the veteran establishment to final opponent Kota Ibushi that Nagata had been to him 12 years before. The summer of 2018 was the culmination of a redemption journey for Tanahashi, a quest for validation for Ibushi, and a battle of contrasting philosophies in a wrestling landscape that was once more on the brink of change. Kota Ibushi had been the focal point of fans' attention through G1 Climax 27. After a mental and physical burnout, he took time away from New Japan, then returned for the summer of 2017, vowing to explode back onto the scene. Adding the Kamigoye knee strike to his arsenal and scoring impressive wins over Tanahashi, Tomohiro Ishii, and series debutant Zack Sabre Jr., Ibushi was explosive indeed, but he fell short of reaching the final and fell short of a meeting with Kenny Omega. Omega had burst to the forefront of New Japan in 2016 and won the G1 on his first attempt, becoming the first non-Japanese to do so. Long associated with Ibushi, Omega desperately wanted a chance to wrestle a man he called his soulmate on the biggest stage next summer, but it wasn't to be. Instead, Naito advanced and was triumphant in a bout where both men pulled out all the stops. In 2018, Ibushi and Omega were both positioned in the same B block, destined to confront each other. The Golden Lovers had reunited as a team earlier in the year, and there were complex emotions surrounding their match in the legendary Budokan Hall. Tanahashi had booked his place in the final a day earlier, narrowly topping Block A after going to a 30-minute draw with Kazuchika Okada. Now years removed from last holding the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and having just narrowly made the cut for the G1 after being severely injured by Minoru Suzuki that February, Tanahashi's presence in the final vindicated him, he felt, and his sense of love for the traditions and heart of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tanahashi thought he had a kindred spirit in his final opponent. Although Ibushi had always cut his own path through professional wrestling, the Ace had a lot of fondness and respect for the Golden Star. Tanahashi, though, had nothing but disdain for Kenny Omega. The fearless, risk-taking cleaner had given his all in 2016 and 2017 and put the pedal to the floor in G1 Climax 28 as well. But Tanahashi thought Omega's wrestling was athleticism without heart and grace, and that Omega brought a cruel style of wrestling that Ibushi needed to be delivered from. Ultimately, Ibushi would best Omega in the Budokan and face the Ace in the G1 28 finals. For Tanahashi, this was a culmination of a 4-year road back to prominence. For Ibushi, the result of 14 years of self-taught discipline and faith in his powers of expression. The Golden Star brought everything he had to Tanahashi. Both high-impact athleticism with a terrifying German suplex over the ropes, and emotional willpower, absorbing and dealing out blow after blow before digging deep to land a thunderous lariat. But at the end of the night, Tanahashi would be triumphant, completing his path to the top of New Japan, once again becoming the one. He extended a hand to Ibushi, who walked away, strong in his conviction that he didn't subscribe to either of Tanahashi or Omega's philosophies. He was his own man. Ibushi walks into the 29th G1 Climax his own man, but one who has made a redoubled commitment to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Could the Golden Star finally go supernova at the Budokan? What of El Ingobernable Tetsuya Naito, whose 2013 G1 success led to the bitter Tokyo Dome defeat that motivated him to found Los Ingobernables de Japón? When he won his second tournament in 2017, he vowed to truly use his win as the launch pad it should be, yet couldn't convert against Kazuchika Okada. Could the G1 trophy go the way of ungovernable charisma once more? Or would an unforeseen figure walk into the final with the Budokan lights on bright August 12th and before thousands of fans become the one?
Subscribe to New Japan Pro Wrestling on YouTube for more episodes of The Recount. And to see all of these legendary matches in full length, head over to NJPWWorld.com.